Hello and welcome everyone. I am Andrew Tropin and I am free and open source software developer, author of Geeks Home and RD projects, and on this stream series we talk about development tools and practices, share a part of my usual workday, and travel towards a sustainable ethical business. On previous stream we worked on defined test macros and did a lot of work to make our tests more atomic, to make it possible to launch only a particular test. For now, we just rewrote run project test function, but this defined test macro will allow in the future to implement all other functions like rerun failed tests, run particular test, or run model tests. And we did a lot of progress on it, but we will continue to work on it later. Today we more focused on structural editing and tree-sitter. We already did a few streams previous week about structural navigation, structural editing, about tree-sitter itself, about incremental parsers, why tree-sitter make a lot of sense to bring in different text editors. We also discussed tree-sitter built-in support in Emacs 29, and also we explored the ways how to actually use it. And we helped a few patches to appear in Guix repository related to tree-sitter. Some of them was written by Pierre, some of them was written by ourselves, and some of them then was created from other people's work. Also, thanks to Pierre, we got a new build system for tree-sitter grammars, and today we will be finishing up the question of tree-sitter in Guix. We will polish up the latest bits. We'll try how it works right now, and later we will be able to announce it on some mailing lists or my personal Mastodon account or somewhere else. Everything is already in a working state, but requires just a little bit of polishing, and after that it's ready to use. Hello Demis, hello Antares, nice to see you here. Let's see what we would like to accomplish today. Let's start from checking that everything from Guix repository already works. After that, we will cut out all generated sources from the source code, which we use for building grammars, and also package some additional grammars, which are not packaged in Guix yet. And after that, we will reply to the thread created by Pierre on some small questions related to tree-sitter grammars, and maybe we will work on tests a little more, or maybe not. We'll see. Actually, the first few items is already enough work for us, but let's see. If we finish it too earlier, we can go and continue our work on tests, on testing framework. Otherwise, we will just finish it after closing these items. Okay, let's see if it works. I will open a new Emacs instance, and in this Emacs instance I will open some HTML file. Let's say let's say this one. Due to suboptimal implementation of environment I use for this project, it takes a little more time than it should, but It's not related to Emacs or tree-seater or something else. And here we see that we have a usual XHTML mod, XHTML plus, and here we have some key bindings, syntax highlighting, iMenu, and so on. Now let's try to enable HTML tree-seater mod. And as we can see, it's it enabled by default. And now syntax highlighting is correct. iMenu shows a lot of elements we can navigate through. And overall, it looks like our tree-seater mod works correctly. And for people who missed previous streams, I will explain how it happens. We have Guix Emacs script. It's a very simple script for loading additional libraries, and now it contains a small snippet which get evaluated when tree-seat package is loaded, and it reads the value of tree-seater grammar path. After that, it splits this value by colon and adds those values to tree-seat extra load path variable. And as we can see, its value is here, and it contains the folder and the directory which contains all our grammars. For now, it's just only one HTML grammar. And actually, I don't remember if I mentioned, I removed all the changes related to tree-seater from my current configuration, and now it uses all the stuff related to tree-seater from upstream Guix repository. And actually, the grammar itself is also taken from GNU packages tree-seater instead of RD packages. And Emacs package doesn't have anything related to tree-seater here. It just inherits all the stuff from original Emacs package. That's it. We see that our Emacs works, tree-seater grammars works, and mods based on tree-seater works as well. Now let's talk about cutting out generated sources and why I have it as a separate entity. And also we'll be packaging some grammars as well. I have a local checkout of Guix repository, and here I have a tree-seater model which contains already a lot of stuff. And we can see in iMenu that it has a lot of things here. And one of the things is tree-seater grammar function, which declares returns a package for tree-seater grammar. And actually, in the future, it may be become something different. Maybe it will be not only a shared library, but also some bindings for the languages or something else. But for now, it is what it is. Let's take a look at our thread. And here I have 4 new messages, and overall value is above 300 messages in this thread, and the first message is related to the support for tree-seater in Emacs 28, which doesn't have a built-in tree-seater support. And here we discussed the way how it can be implemented, and here is an example of a workaround. It's not very interesting for us and for our today stream, so let's go to the next message. And the next message is about the way we package and the way we name our packages with grammars. Originally, I thought to name it like tree-seater grammar HTML, but there are some reasons why we can name it a little different without a grammar part. The first reason that original name of the repository from which we download the grammar definition and build a library from it, doesn't contain grammar in its name. This is the first reason. The second reason that we can bake something else in those packages, maybe in separate outputs, maybe in the primary output, which is not the grammar itself, and even not the shared library with the grammar implementation, with the parser implementation. And this is why I switched from this naming to this naming, and I think it's reasonable, and Pierre also thinks that this name is a little better. So we solved this issue of naming relatively easily. The second point was about do we want to use a special wrapper, this helper function which returns a package, and define our packages like this, or we want to make a complete declaration of the package which looks like this. There are pros and cons of both approaches, and we both don't have a strong opinion on how it should be done, but there are some benefits for using this helper, and one of those benefits is that we can remove or copy-paste problems by making all that shared stuff in one place, and after that just calling the function. Because when you define a complete package definition, you can forget to add a snippet which removes some generated files, and maybe the description will be not consistent with the rest of the packages, or you just forget to update it or something else. With this helper, all that stuff happens automatically. We get our snippet for removing generated files. We get something else like generating descriptions, synopsis, and all other stuff. And that sounds reasonable, and I guess we will keep this helper, at least for now, and we will make our grammar definitions much smaller this way. Compare this simple one for HTML, which contains just a few arguments here, and take a look at this one, which contains, roughly speaking, 4 or 5 times more code. And I guess it is a nice idea to use this one. Also, if we take a look at more sophisticated definitions here and there, you can see that they grow a little bigger too. And this one, definition for three-seater TypeScript grammar, is nice example because it uses a few more things that we are interested in. And one of them, it use slightly different procedure for removing built-in generated code from the original source code. And also it uses grammar directories, build system argument, which is also demonstrates the power of the build system, but also a good example of what we will need in our helper function to be implemented. And the reason why we want to remove that stuff from original source code is because those files are generated automatically using three-seater tooling like CLI utility and some other stuff. And we want to build our grammar from ground up, from original grammar.js file to the final shared library. And we have a few steps. First step is to generate grammar.json. From grammar.json we generate parser C and some other stuff. And from this C source code we generate our actual libraries. And we want to make this process complete, so we can generate shared libraries from grammar definition itself, not from some intermediate generated files. This is why we we remove all those intermediate files and do the whole process ourselves. Current implementation of our helper function doesn't handle the case with grammar directories. And also let's check the default value of the grammar directories. I will use something like this to find it. Grammar directories. By default, it contains only the current directory. And with TypeScript, we have the case when the grammars defined in subdirectories instead of root one of the repository. And that is why grammar directories contains two values here. And we can make our function, our three-seater grammar helper, a little bit more general purpose by introducing this grammar directories argument to it, which should be equal by default to the current directory. And also we will need to update our JExpression used for removing all that stuff, all that pre-generated stuff from the source code. And instead of removing it from the root directory, we will remove it from all the directories in grammar directories variable. Actually, I guess it can be not only dot, but actually just an empty string, which will also work, but it's not a big problem anyway. We can just take this snippet and use this snippet directly in our helper function, like this. And instead of using some hard-coded values, we can just use grammar as the value of grammar directories argument, like this. Looks good to me. Looks good to me. And also arguments grammar directories. I guess it will be fine. Now let's rebuild our HTML grammar to make sure nothing broken so far. It looks great, and it looks like everything works. We can remove this snippet. Or we can move this snippet to the function which accepts one argument, and instead of this one, use this one as an implementation, like this. And here we will just call it and let's rebuild it one more time. Cool. Works very well. Now our helper supports grammar directories. Now let's take a look at the synopsis used and the description used by packages proposed by Pierre. And let's just copy it because it looks good to me. First of all, synopsis here and description here. Oh, another good example. Here of why plain package definitions are a little better than the wrapper is because here when we try automatically generate description, we need to handle the case when one package provides two grammars. We can handle it. Just by looking at grammar directories. multiple, like more than one. And let's call it somehow meaningful. Um, let's reevaluate the arguments for the function. When we define a three-seater grammar, we define it for language or a few languages. Let's call it name instead of language. The second argument will be text. For the description and synopsis. And after that, version, commit, and hash is already good enough. Here I do quite a lot of changes. And I will need to write it down in the doc string. Three-seater. And if multiple, then S, otherwise looks good. Synopsis, three-seater grammar names, description. This package provides okay, now let's rebuild it, and something failed. why it failed. Let's see. Some not very meaningful errors here, but let's try to figure it out ourselves. Maybe something related to the name. No. Hmm. I need to continue working. Will rewatch the stream. Have a good day. Have a good day, Demis. We'll see you later. So much changes. At one go makes it much harder to find the root of the problem. Oh, okay, I know what the root of the problem. It is because I defined a value for grammar names, which I use here, but I used it with basic let, and this basic let doesn't automatically doesn't allow to use definition which happened during the previous let statements, and let asterisk actually allows. And here we can see it says three-seater HTML grammar. This package provides HTML grammar for the three-seater library. Okay, looks okay to me. Now let's try to package other stuff. We already have C and C++ grammars, where C is the dependency of C++, and also we have JavaScript and TypeScript grammars, which are even more complicated. And let's start from JavaScript and TypeScript, or JavaScript, whatever it's called. By the way, what is the right pronunciation of JavaScript or JavaScript? What I will do here, I will copy a three-seater HTML and we'll call it three-seater JavaScript. The version will be blah blah 20. Like this. And it says it has JavaScript and JSX grammars for the three-seater. Whoa, it's even more complicated. It has one grammar.js, one src directory. Name JavaScript. I guess it is more likely like the one grammar which supports both JavaScript and JavaScript and JSX. It's actually one grammar. I don't think it provides two files actually. Let's build it. Build failed. Okay, wait, failed. For each, not the list. Okay, okay. And let's see the result. Yes, it contains only one shared library. That is why it provides only one grammar. And it's probably should be camel cased. JavaScript. Yeah, it seems to be camel cased. JSX. Okay, I guess we can write it this way. JavaScript JSX like this. And now let's comment it out and let's see the description. Three-seater JavaScript JSX grammar provides JavaScript JSX grammar for three-seater. Looks good to me. And now let's define a package for TypeScript. TypeScript TypeScript and tsx. This stuff actually has two grammars, this package. And while we call it three-seater TypeScript, in the reality we have two grammars inside. And that's okay, I guess. That's okay. We don't need to package it separately. Now let's update the values here. Version I want to write to do for myself. Reorder arguments to make it possible to auto generate commit. I just don't want to write it a few times because here and here we do it the same way. The only exception here is JavaScript, at least for now. Maybe we'll see more exceptions, but it's very usual when you have v in the tag. And I think it's a good default. And if we reorder the arguments of this helper function, it will be possible to automatically generate value for the commit argument, but if it's necessary, we can redefine it. Okay. It's TypeScript and tsx. TypeScript the hash is following, and also we need to specify grammar directories. Like this. And let's comment it out. TypeScript. Boom, it failed. Very interesting. Don't know why it shows some information related to GNU packages GNOME. Okay, let's comment it out and let's, oops. Oh, we have unexpected parenthesis here. Okay, okay, it was a cause of the problem. Three-seater TypeScript and tsx grammars. blah blah blah. Looks okay. Let's build it. And it failed. Wait, failed. Let's see. Oh, because we didn't provide an input for it. Inputs, a list, three-seater, JavaScript. Like this. Okay, let's see what we have. TSX and TypeScript. Cool. Very nice. Very nice. And this definition looks a little simpler than this one. And it prevents some copy-paste errors. So right now I still in favor of such approach. It looks much cleaner. Okay, let's close this to do. How we can do it? We have commit and hash and version, and commit can be string append version like this. Also we can switch hash and version. To make them closer to each other. I mean version and commit. And we will be able to do something like this. Actually, we can use hash here and make it mandatory. But if it is a keyword argument, it's not mandatory, I guess. It will have a default false value always. So I guess something like this should look fine. But let's take what we have in handspell. Okay, what we have in aspell. They have version and hash as arguments, as keyword arguments. But actually we don't have to repeat this approach. I guess this one is quite good. Like, op. And let's try to build all of them. Type script. Actually, we don't need to build JavaScript because TypeScript depends on it. And as we can see, it built successfully. Okay, let's package two more grammars like tree-sitter C and tree-sitter CPP. Tree-sitter C it will be C, and here it will be capital C. Let's copy this one here and this one, oops, here, like this. Okay, it looks good to me. And CPP, like CPP and C++. Boom. The only question why it uses commit and revision. Let's see. It has tags, which done on October 25th. But here we use an exact commit instead of version tag. Here, let commit revision 0. Here we will have like this, and as the explanation, Oh, it's not more than 2 years. More than 1 year ago. Let's go. Let's. It will fail because we didn't add a dependency of tree-seater-c. And of course it will fail because actual hash is different. Actual hash. And now it fails because we need to add tree-seater-c. Cool, it's built. The library is here. And we can remove this definition. Now we have a much more compact definition of all those grammars. And the function itself also doesn't seem too much complicated. Can we do it like this? Oh no. Let's do it like this. Okay, looks good to me. Looks good to me. The only thing is kinda purely named is a name because it's not clear what name means. But okay, text is a string which will be used in description and synopsis. Will be prefixed with tree-seater used with tree-seater prefix to package name, and also if repository URL not specified, also for generating value if it is not specified. explicitly. Package. Grammar. Looks nice. Looks nice. I think we can commit it. We'll commit this one, and the rest we'll commit on a separate commits. This one is just update to the implementation of tree-seater grammar helper. GNU tree-seater grammar. Extend functionality. Okay, I think it's a good enough commit message, and we will explain in more details in commit body. GNU tree-seater grammar tree-seater delete generated files, add support for grammar directories, tree-seater grammar, support for grammar directories, reorder and rename arguments, update description and synopsis generation. That's it. And also tree-seater HTML, migrate to new tree-seater grammar like this. Looks okay to me. And now we can commit a few more grammars. But before actually doing it, let's take a look at other grammars. What do they have inside? Not this one. Bash. Nice and interesting. CSS, nice and interesting. C#, Elixir. Oh, it has a different license. Am I right? Oh, that's tough. Okay, it's not a problem. It's not a problem. We can edit. License. Like this. Oops, sorry for jumping around. Actually, we can even do it like this. Let's check it. Let's slightly reorder the stuff. Let's update commit message. Directory, license, reorder and rename arguments, update description and synopsis, generation logic. And that's it. Looks good, looks good. What else we have here? The article. Oh, that's painful. Natural languages are not perfect. Not very consistent. Okay, I guess we can skip it. Do we have an ability in format to know which article to use? It's very nice. It's very nice. But what about articles? Description. If multiple okay, okay. Did I write it correctly? Let's check that our article addition works. Pum pum. Let's search for CBP. Okay, it almost works. 1 second. Okay, it's not grammar. That all the grammars are covered by our helper function and can be packaged easily. Let's commit them. Let's commit what we already have at least. Nothing too much interesting. Just committing all the grammars that we already have. C grammar. And the last one is C++ grammar. Okay, let's add one more example, at least one more, which probably will be Elm or Elixir. We want it to be Elm because it contains both multiple license and also it should be an article. An Elixir grammar. Yes, Elixir looks like a good example of all the things we would like to try out with our helper. Let's copy this definition. We don't need inputs. We have the version here. Commit here. Let's check. I don't see tags at all. Okay, we can update it to even earlier, even more recent version. Wait, didn't copy. No tags at all. It will be elixir. Oh, it also will be a repository URL here. It's a really great example of all the features. URL. Elixir. Let's build it. Do we... Oh, also license. License. Good, elixir. Boom. Something went wrong. Of course it went. Good, and let's build it. Okay. It was built successfully. Very nice. I would like to add one more grammar, the grammar for CSS, to make this tool build HTML, JS, TS, CSS complete, just for this reason. Oops. Let's copy this one. Let's place it here. Let's do this stuff. Okay, we have almost everything the same as for HTML, except the hash and the name CSS. CSS. Can we actually rebase? So the CSS is added here, here. Okay. Don't want to fix all that merge conflicts. One second, Elixir. That's it. Copy paste error, errors still possible, but it's less likely to happen with such small amount of code. Let's try to rebase it one more time. No, still fails. Okay. GNU packages 3-seater. We got everything here. We used all the arguments of 3-seater grammar function, and it seems there are no other edge cases that we have to keep in mind. Looks good to me. Cool. What I would like to do today also is to reply to this email messages, but I guess it will be too boring and we already spent a lot of time, and actually we don't have spare time to continue our work on tests. So I guess we will finish for today, but before finishing, first of all, I would like to thank you, Pierre, and all other peoples who did a lot of work related to 3-seater, to bring in 3-seater to Guix. It's Lewis, Henrik Gomez, Marat Mamedov, Alexander Vitязев, Demis Balbak, and all other who participated in the review process. Thank you very much for all of them. And due this community work, now we have a complete first order support of 3-seater in Emacs next package in Guix out of the box without any additional configuration. You just install Emacs Next, you just install a few grammars you would like to use, and you can use them. Maybe something like packaging additional grammars, packaging additional mods for supporting those 3-seater grammars will be required. But we already have all the tooling for it. It's just a matter of demand from people. And as a conclusion for today, I would say always be closing. And it's not some sales motto. It's more about finishing up your work. You can spend a lot of time doing a lot of stuff, but if you didn't make a meaningful result from it, it can be forgotten and lost, and all your efforts won't provide any value. Of course, you will get experience. Maybe someone will take your work and make work based on it. But if you want to provide real value, try to finish everything you do, at least at some workable state, so it can be picked up by other people. And that's it for today. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope you enjoyed this